Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be rehauling the Trick or Treat Studios 2018 Halloween Michael Myers mask. This mask is really impressive with the sculpt, with lineage directly back to the original sculpt by Justin Mabry and Chris Nelson, but with a paint job that leaves a little bit to be desired. First off, I'm going to mark out my eye hole cuts. And go in with the Dremel. I'll also be going in with the Dremel with a finer bit to open up the cracks in the bottom of the neck. Next up, it's time to rip off the first layer of hair. This mask gave me a little bit of trouble with the hair. I ended up ripping off a tiny little bit of paint on the top of the forehead, which I lightly sanded. Give the mask a nice wash down before you start painting. This is my color palette. Once again, using Mabry Monsters Nightshades. First off, it's time to lay down our initial layer of white. Then I'll be going in with a sponge, applying a sort of yellow color. This mask is all about layering, in my opinion. I think you can really achieve the look you're going for and the look seen in the movie if you just build it up slowly. I try an interesting thing here, and I don't know if I'll do it again on another mask if I do this mask again, which is sort of building up the colors first and building up all those tones before I apply my washes and rub outs. But it was an experiment that I think eventually did pay off, but took quite a lot of finagling to get where I wanted it. You can see here I'm applying different kind of colors of little oranges and flesh tones and yellows as I build up that sort of latex rot color that's seen underneath the weathering on the original mask. I ended up going in here at this stage with a light blue acrylic wash in certain areas, just to get a little bit of a highlight. Beer break. Next up, I'm applying an acrylic wash of black and mixed with brown and a little bit of green. This ended up not being strong enough, and you'll see me do quite a number of washes and rub outs through this video, as I struggle to get those cracks in the mask to become visible. Time for a darker wash. I let this mostly dry, then I sprayed it down, just to bring some moisture back into the paint. Although this technique at times felt a little hopeless, and I ended up going in and kind of filling in some of these cracks, eventually I did just sort of hand paint nearly the entire mask on the final layer. But I do still think that some of these layering effects are effective. I did go in with not so much of a plan in this one, so it took a little bit of time to figure out where I was headed. Here I'm going with a little bit of sandpaper, just to rub away what's above the cracks on the mask, just to try and bring those out a little bit more. And bring in a little bit more flesh tone towards the bottom of the mask. Next up, I'm bringing the yellow back into the mix, hitting certain areas with highlights. Here I'm applying an ink rub out sprayed through my airbrush, which is just a mix of India ink mixed with alcohol. Now you'll notice here I took quite a big jump, and that's because my SD card ran out of space, and I went for about 4 more hours of just painting. This was all hand painting to get that finished result, and you can see here now that I'm reapplying the hair with mask latex, using a wooden dowel to soften the edges. Now that our hair is reapplied, we can go on to style it and just try and get that sort of Michael Myers look. I would eventually like to do another one of these and re-hair it entirely, as I think the color on this is a lot different to the original prop. Hit it with some hairspray, and that's it.
I've been here for a while now, and I've come across some clues that have led me to Michael's whereabouts here in Haddonfield, Illinois. He's escaped captivity, and he's now preying on the lives of innocent people again. Michael? It would appear as though Michael Myers has taken another life.
Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel. This is the second part of 4 Michael Myers mask rehauls that I'll be uploading this week. in anticipation of Halloween Ends this Friday. Yesterday was 1978, tomorrow is Kills, and Friday ends with Halloween Ends. Thank you very much. See you next time.